Hello, our
Hello.
parents and also students. Today we are very honored to have Mrs. Armstrong from the Claremont School. Mrs. Armstrong is the assistant head teacher at the school, and she looks after a lot of international students. And let me just quickly introduce myself. My name is Melissa, and I'm the founder of UK Education Garden. In our private channel, we have more than 2,000 parents, and in our public channel, we have nearly 3,000 parents. So today, I'm sure everyone would love to hear how Mrs. Armstrong supports the international students and how the school integrate reading curriculum to support students' reading and learning. Mrs. Armstrong, your turn.
Hello. So I'm really delighted to meet you. And as it was explained, yes, my role at the school is to look after the international students. And that in itself, I think, makes us quite unusual because there are not many schools where there is a person dedicated entirely to the international students. And that's because initially I am French and I know what it's like to be a foreign person arriving into a new country. And so I can empathize with students very much.
Great.
You can see our school on these pictures. We are basically a very friendly school in the countryside of our students are happy, but also successful. And I think these are the essential criteria for us.
Mm-hmm. Shall we go to the next slide?
Yes, please. Mm-hmm. So it shows you exactly where we are. So we have in effect 4 sites. We have 2 sites for the schools. One is the prep school where the children are up to the age of about 12 or 13. And then they move on to the senior school, which is on a different site. That's the one at the top. We have also 2 boarding houses that are very close to the junior school. One is a boarding house for the girls and the young boys, and the other one is for the senior boys. So we have an unusual model here where you can see that our boarding houses are off-site. And that is a very deliberate choice for us because all our students, in effect, are day students, boarders included. And we have the place where they live and the place where they study, like everybody else. So at the end of the day, everybody goes home. And boarding isn't just a place where they sleep. Boarding is their home. And that is really dear to my heart and to the philosophy of the school. It is home from home for us.
Yes. Please tell us more how you support international students in their study.
We have an extensive program of induction for a start when they arrive. Mm-hmm. So we settle them into their homes because if they're not happy, they're not going to be studying well. Okay, that is the first thing. They need to feel at home. So even in the boarding house, we have a very close network of house parents who do exactly what parents do. They feed the children, they look after them well, they get them clean and nicely dressed for school, they look after them when they're sick, and they connect with their home parents as well frequently. They supervise their homework in the evening. We have dedicated slots in the evening when the students study, and they are supported in that by the boarding staff. Okay. Yeah. Once that induction has taken place, then it is also time for the school induction. And that is what you see here. We are a small school. We only have at the senior school 300 students, 400 at the prep school. It means that every student is paid a lot of attention. Nobody falls behind. Nobody can hide. Everybody is incredibly supported. And not only are 300, which is already small, but the school is then divided within 4 academic houses. And then every child is supervised by a specific tutor. So there is huge amount of attention paid. Our classes never go over 20 students, and very often a lot less. We run revision classes at the end of every day for those students who need extra support. We have additional support for maths, English, and science. We have very specialized EAL classes for students who have English as a second language with super qualified teachers. So, and I think what's most interesting for me is that every child is an individual, has separate needs. I really take into account when I interview the students prior to arrival as to the reasons why they are coming to us. Is it to be more independent? Is it to improve their English? Is it to prepare for university? Every child has different needs, and also every child has different reasons to join us. And we need to pay attention to that. And that is why I think they are successful. So you will see from this slide that we have different points of entry, and we offer diverse courses depending on the needs. So for instance, children will come in into year 9, where they will do every aspect of the curriculum to try and sample everything. They'll do exciting things they don't normally do at home, maybe like drama or dance or design and technology. Then we would offer them, we are a very performing school in terms of drama and music particularly.
I know you just got the award. Can you tell us a bit more about the Performing Arts Award?
Well, we were awarded the award of the best performing art school of the year last year.
Congratulations.
That is because we have an amazing department. We have a brilliant and beautiful dance studio that was only open a couple of years ago, with a very, very strong bouncy floor and a specialized dance teacher. But also the drama department is extensive, and as is the music department. We can teach pretty much every instrument in the land. We have a yearly big show. We run many talent shows. Students can take exams in various instrumental subjects, so they can do the guitar, singing, the flute, the violin, the cello, you name it. If they're interested in it, we will run it. So that's a strength, I think, of our school. We are the art department, the creative, very, very strong. But as is also the academic, we have math Olympiads, for instance, going on, as well as physics Olympiads, to make sure we stretch the more scientific able of our students. So that shows you the creative here. These are some. We never buy any posters to decorate the walls of the school. Everything we have is done by our own students because they are so talented.
And I always, as an educator, I always think that arts like photography, drama, music, and dance actually help them to integrate into the new school.
Absolutely, I agree with you, because you share a passion, don't you? And as soon as you share something, immediately it builds you in. Plus, the creative block that we have is more than just a subject. It's a way of thinking. It's a way of being. And we find that the students bond really quickly within that setting. Especially, when you do a show with someone, the atmosphere is different, and you make friends so much more quickly that way, in a less maybe formal environment. And then a constant intensity, coming to school on a Sunday, on a Saturday, to rehearse as you get closer to the deadline, the excitement, the shared passion. I think that really makes students feel one. Now, we're also good at sport, though. So we have a fantastic football academy, for instance. But what's unusual about us is that there is no compromise on the academics. Okay. No, it's not a question of you do football instead of learning. Not at all. The football takes place at the end of the school day instead of alternative clubs like chess or debating society. But the lessons are unaffected. And I think that's what parents like about the football academy. The students reach a very high level of performance, but there is no compromise on education. And then we have, for instance, we can go to American universities on scholarships for sport, but still developing their curriculum and preparing for the future. We all know a sports career is very short term.
Great.
So our focus on the future is intense, because particularly with our students in year 12 and 13, before university, we have a whole career program. We have a person on the staff whose job it is solely to organize events, to advise students, to support them for their application. And it's a process that begins even before year 12, but really intensifies in year 12 and into year 13 with a whole range of events. we call it Futures Week here. There's a whole week dedicated in June when students attend conferences, and then they begin the UCAS application process, as well as applying for American or other universities.
Very good. And your A-level, wow, 65% achieve A and A star.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes, and we are a non-selective school, so I think that says a lot. What I really like about what we do is that everybody finds their place. So we have students who go to Cambridge and Oxford. We have students going to Harvard, okay? But we also have students who are going to go to drama school or do fashion design, or everybody finds the right path for them. And for us, what really matters is that everyone is stretched to their best. Everybody feels their potential, and everyone has a different potential in life. So I need to tell you about the fact we're a global school, because we are a lovely little school in the UK, but more than that, we are a school amongst many. We are part of a school group called ISP, International School Partnership, and that means that we have sister schools all over the world. And that presents opportunity for our students in terms of exchanges, communication, just a way of being, an open-mindedness about internationalism. And that's why our students have no issue integrating, because we already have, if you like,
very international
mindset.
Great. So can you recommend some books to our parents?
Okay, so I would like to talk to you about this book. It's a French book, because of course I'm French. Un sac de billes. It means a bag of marbles. I love that book because it's followed me through my life. I read it as a child, and then I taught that book when I was a teacher of French A-level to my students. It is a book about a young child during the war who is trying to find peace and safety, and crosses France and meets a lot of challenges and shows such resilience and humor. And it's a big celebration of childhood, which, working with children, I think it's the right fit for me. I wanted to tell you about a writer whom I really like for children, and that's Roald Dahl. Now famous Roald Dahl. Yes. But it's also very good for adults to read because he writes so well. Roald Dahl's books have often been turned into films, into plays, even into musicals. And I would recommend anyone to have a read. They're very short books, so it's quite good. The language is beautiful, and there's always a great sense of humor, but also creativity and dream, which I think we all could at times.
And in the UK, we have a museum. We have Roald Dahl Museum based in Buckinghamshire, and I would highly recommend any parents who would like to go. Hello, Dr. Lau.
Hello, Melissa. Hello.
We have Mrs. Armstrong joining us, who is the
Armstrong. Hello.
Hello.
Mrs. Armstrong just recommend a French children's book and also Roald Dahl's book to our audience, to our parents.
Good.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Armstrong, and I will share this with all our parents on the reading club as well.
Wonderful.
For the French book, if a child doesn't know French too much, do you have the translated version?
Absolutely. So it's called A Bag of Marbles.
Oh,
There've also been 2 movies made of that book. Many
maybe
ways.
Send me the link so I can attach it and share it with the private group.
I will do.
Dr. Lau, do you have any questions you would like to ask?
Just joining them and want to know more about the story. So just continue. I'm so glad to join.
So it's Mrs. Armstrong, can you also share with us how do your school support international students in terms of their English? For example, if we got some students who are struggling in their English, what would you do? What would you help them to achieve high academic results?
Okay, so first of all, I have to say that is our bread and butter, if I may say so, in so far as, we have students at the moment of 21 different nationalities in the school. Okay. working with students for whom English is not their first language is something we do every day. Okay, we offer intensive English as a second language classes start, and if we find that for a student more attention is needed, then I will look into implementing a personalized program for that student and facilitating their work maybe with the presence of a one-to-one adult in the class, for instance, to support them until we feel that they can fly, on their own. The teachers are very much trained to working with international students. For instance, we have little vocabulary lists in various languages, translating terms in science, particularly, that can be quite complex. So the teachers have those available to share with the students. But the fact that our classes are very small really helps us support. And the fact that we know our students, nobody is anonymous in this school. Everybody is really briefed about the students before they arrive, so then the teachers can adjust their lessons to suit the needs of those students.
That's the benefits of being in a smaller school.
Absolutely.
Like a big family, everyone knows each other by name.
Exactly. And the teachers are used to working with international students because they do represent almost a third of our school. So, obviously it intensifies in the older years as we're getting closer to university. But at all level of the school, we have English as a second language class. Only this week, actually, tomorrow, we are taking a group of students to a center in London to take an IELTS test to evaluate their progress and to be able to measure how much progress they have made since they joined us in September for some of them. And that informs the way we work. In the sixth form, particularly, we are very focused on IELTS tests because we know it is the passport into university life. And do not want to see students who are very talented at mathematics, for instance, failing to go into the university of their choice simply because their English isn't up to it. So we work at this very, very hard to make sure that all our students have all the opportunities in the world to do what they want for their future.
I learned that your school actually is quite close to the train station, which will help. Yeah, you can go to London within 1.5 hours. Am I correct?
Yes, 1 hour and 20.
An hour.
Yes, and one of our boarding houses, you can walk to the station in 5 minutes. So that's very much an advantage because we have the pure air, the countryside, the safety of being in the rural part of East Sussex, but the proximity of London. So I think it's the best of both worlds. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Mrs. Armstrong. Thank you, Dr. Lau, for joining us as well. We'll catch up with you again. And hopefully if some students would like to apply, don't hesitate to contact us. We'll try our best to help.
Thank you very much indeed. It's been lovely to meet you.
Good to meet you as well. Have a good afternoon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.